Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight's not. Starlight's not out in nature. So, yes, make sure you get out in nature somewhere. And also, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight, and you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight. Plus, you can also check out my playlist and find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Thank you all who are here loving and supporting Starlight, who's been there from the beginning all the way through now. Thank you. And I appreciate all of you who have left me thumbs up or even left me a message down below or even share my videos. Thank you. And also, again, if there's anyone out there that would like to send extra love to Starlight, you can, and I will leave a way that you can do that on my Cash App, and that will be on the screen here. Plus, also, you can check out my playlist, and that is on my YouTube channel. If you would like to share any of your pets, like a cat, a dog, or an alligator, you have a pet alligator, you could do that by sending those pictures or short little videos to my Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So I love you so much, and somebody recently left me a comment, and I let them know that I was going to make a video. So this is for you, is if you do have, if anybody has any questions and they would like to make, have me make a video, is leave a comment down below, and I will do my best to help you out with whatever it is that you might need help with. So it is about, I can't believe it. I had a bad dream last night, and it was scary. How many of you have actually have had like a scary dream? Well, okay, some of you actually have had. Some of you don't even remember your dreams? Because I know people like that. They don't remember their dreams, even though we dream every night. Not everybody actually remembers their dreams, and it could be for so many different reasons. You know, it could be health or medications that could trip people up where they won't be able to receive dreams. That happened to me before. I was dreaming right along, and then my doctor gave Starlight, "What the heck are you giving me?" So yeah, once they gave me that, boom, there goes a dreamland. So, and and it's amazing. I was on that medication for years, and when they took me off, it took some time, you know, and my dreams came back. So yes, medication can, it even can give you some strange, crazy dreams. So, and the doctors, hopefully, well, these days it's hard to find a doctor who really sincerely cares about you without always trying to medicate you. But if you find a doctor that really cares about you, is that if they do give you certain medications, they might even tell you that this medication could cause you to have symptoms like having scary dreams. So that is where scary dreams can come from. Also, now it is kind of funny is you think, ooh, a scary dream. I've had tons of scary dreams. Believe me, some bizarre stuff. And it is kind of funny how we always can look at that and think that's a really bad thing. That's is that going to happen to me? You know, it could be something. You know, scary dreams that depending on who you are and where you're coming from. You know, a scary dream could be like imagine this: you have a dream, you have a cell phone, right? And it falls in the water, and you're watching it just go in the water. And even though it's not that really scary, but it's the whole thing that there goes your cell phone, and oh no, what am I going to do? My cell phone is soaking wet. and all my everything's in that phone. Isn't that scary? Wouldn't that be scary? You know, so you might say that's not scary, but if that really happened in real life, that could be really scary. If that's your only phone, all your information is on that, and if you're addicted to your cell phone, using it for all the different things, it could be scary in that way. Or you could have like some kind of creature after you, or a snake, so there's so many different dreams. Into the like the end time dreams, there's a lot of people that go into hospitals that will have dreams about the end of the world. Isn't that scary? Yeah, I've had robots in my dreams before where they were taking over the world. There was no officers anymore. And isn't that scary? Well, we're getting close to that, so just be, there's, you got to watch out what's going on with these robots. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just letting you know that was one of my dreams, is where they were out like cops, but they were mean ass looking robots, all black, and they didn't look like friendly robots at all. They were hardcore. Everybody was running away from them. So yeah, we can have a lot of scary dreams at times. And so what I want to explain to you is I have studied dreams like for a long time in my life, and actually was getting connected to a man online long time ago because I'm a dreamer. I am. I remember my dreams. I mean, I could see color. I can hear things in my I've heard my name being called out in dreams before. I've even had pets talking to me in dreams before. Isn't that interesting? And actually, that happened even in the Bible. I believe it was a donkey that talked to a man, because the man was beating his donkey and God caused the donkey to talk to him. God has got a sense of humor. So, tell you, you never know what God's going to do next, So, nobody knows the mind of God, I have to say. So, when it comes to dreams, is some people say also you can end up having some strange, weird dream because what the heck did you eat before you went to bed? So that is another reason that you can end up having dreams, is because the food that you ate, and did you, like eat a lot of food before you went to bed? Other things, could create scary dreams in the night is, what are you watching on TV? What are your eyes seeing? What kind of stuff are you watching? Like if you're watching a lot of stuff, it could actually give you a dream. And the other thing that I've learned on my journey here is I do have other videos on my YouTube channel, which might be, the playlist might be called Dreams. So you could check that out. So those are ways to find out how to have a dream journal, and understands dreams more. So just because, there's a lot of people that freak out, and I used to be one of those, is like, it is scary when you wake up and you're like, like you just flew through a portal and you're on your bed and you're like, ah. I mean, you could actually have your heart racing, and you're like, whew, I'm glad I came through that portal in time, and I'm actually, you could be in your room, or like where Starlight was, is, wake up in your car and you're like, oh, okay, it was just a dream, right? But it felt real, right? Sometimes those dreams can last forever, but really, how long does a dream last? It might seem like for a long time, but it's the way we go through a dream like that. It can feel like a long time, but it's only a little bit of time that you actually was in that dream state. But it feels like it's slow motion. It feels, like you're in it. I've had dreams that felt like, I could have a dream and be really interesting, wake up, go pee, go right back to bed, and jump right back in that dream where I left off and continue that dream. So dreams are really awesome. I love dreaming. And really, how dreams are created, some people are like, when they get a bad dream, they're like, well, what did you do? What created that dream? Now, Starlight has got a different way of looking at things, is like the moment that you wake up and you think about all the things that you went through the day, you know, and what are you thinking? What are you thinking throughout the whole day? That's what's going to create your dream at nighttime. Just because you might get this horrible dream, it could have a great interpretation. So that's what you got to understand with dreams. Just because you woke up and you could be sweating, you could be scared out of your mind, you could be like breathing heavy, and but this is what you need to understand is when you have a dream, have a dream journal next to your bed with a lamp and a pens that work, and when you wake up from that dream, write every detail that you can from the beginning all the way to the end. And yes, it does take time. Some dreams, it could be like a couple pages of writing the same dream because there's so many details. So, and that is so important is that you could have a horrible dream, and when you write it down and then you figure out what it means, you're like, wow, that was a scary ass dream, but the interpretation is what matters. Like, it was a bad dream, but the interpretation is beautiful. It's great. It's actually telling me stuff that I'm like, yeah, that is right about me, is that I am doing these things. But it's your thought process through the day. What did you see with your eyes, ears, and all this stuff? What did you experience through that day? How were you, like something could have happened in that day and it could have triggered a fear in your mind. And it's, things that you're working on. How do you look at yourself? How do you think about yourself or other people? All these things actually get thrown together. And when you go to sleep at night, because, it's it's the way God speaks to us through our dreams. So don't worry about it if it's a scary dream. It's what you got to do is take the time to write the dream out, write the date, because and it's great to have the journal because later on, there's times I've had this happen many times where you can actually predict the future. And you not predict the future, but see the future in your dreams. You can have a dream now, and then years later, you're somewhere and you're like, I've been here before. I've gone into, I've met people in weird places, and I'm like, I'm in that dream, even though that dream happened like years ago. I been here, I've seen that person. It's all too familiar. So you can actually have a dream and you wrote it down, and then later on, you go somewhere, meet someone, do something, and you're like a deja, like you've been there. You've experienced this somewhere. And so there's times that, that can happen to you, but you really want to study the dream, find out what does the dream mean. So that's what you got to do is from the beginning of that dream. Like, you could just have a dream of you driving your car. Now I'm just going to create something. Not that Starlight, I've had all kinds of car dreams, and that can be scary, just like in real life. So you can have a dream that you're in the car and you're driving down the road, right? You're driving, you're looking at the speed limit sign. What does the speed limit sign say? Oh, it says 55. So you're driving down the road and it's dark, right? It's dark. And you're looking around and you see the lights on the lines on the road, and you're driving and the steering wheel is not working. Isn't that scary? Well, that can happen in a dream. So what do you think that means? What does a steering wheel, these are all like, it's taking everything apart. It's, like analyzing all these pieces. Steering wheel, what does, why do you have a steering wheel? Where are you going? What does a car mean? Like being in a car, it was night out. It was dark out, speed limit sign. So what number was that? What does that number mean? What else? Was anybody with you? Were you in a driver's seat? Were you, driving the car in the front seat, or were you steering the car in the back seat with the steering wheel in your hand? Anything can happen in a dream, so anything is possible in a dream. All kinds of crazy. I mean, I have had some funky stuff. I mean, I could talk to somebody all day long just on dreams and weird dreams that I've had. Flying dreams. You can have exciting dreams. I've had dreams where I believe I was a dragon. How is it that I was a dragon? What does it mean if you were a dragon? You turned into a dragon. What color dragon were you? Like a blue dragon, a red dragon? So I've been a dragon in a dream where How do I know this? It's because I didn't see myself, but I was flying and I did see another dragon in the dream. But then when I landed, I looked down and I saw my feet and they were dragon feet. That is cool ass, is to know that, wow, I actually looked down at my feet and I had dragon feet. So, what does it mean if you're a blue dragon? What does it mean when you're a red dragon in a dream? You know, so dreams are very exciting, and you can have vivid dreams like I do. I see colors, I hear, you can even, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I've had like where you can smell things in a dream, because there's times that you can have dreams that you're going to the bathroom. Like I've had a dream before and it was so gross that I was outside and I pooped somewhere right outside. And it was a lot. So, so dreams, it is so amazing what could happen in a dream, where you see yourself. Sometimes you might see yourself, it's you, but you look different. How do you look different? Are you, like what's different about you? So don't worry about having a scary dream. You got to take the time to, what was the dream about? And that you got to start, if you want to learn more about how to understand your dreams, then check out my playlist on dreams, and there will be a title that how to how to have a dream journal, and that will help you how to break that dream down. And it does take time. That means you got to, take time out, make time for it, and God's got a message for you. So you don't want to say, well, I ever since I started doing something, now I got these scary dreams. There's something that's going on, and God is trying to communicate with you. God's trying to get your attention, and God is doing it through a dream. So we might think, well, because I started doing this created a scary dream, so maybe I should not do that. Maybe if I don't do that anymore, maybe, I won't get scary dreams. Scary dreams doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing. Just like in life, in real life, there's times that we think, that was a bad thing that happened to me, but you learned something that you can use later on. So was it really a bad thing? Well, you learned a lot. Now you know not to do those things anymore. So now you can move on, and God is going to help you. And you're going to have other things that are going to happen that you might think is a bad. And after a while, then you'll understand that that was a test. I'm just here to learn, and you'll be able to face each problem as they come even better once you understand that it's just to teach you something. And what are you going to learn each time when you go through something? So don't be afraid of having a bad dream, is that you can take the time out to study, what does that dream mean? What is God trying to communicate with you? And so check out that the dreams on the playlist, and how to have a dream journal, and that will help you to break that dream down. You got to write the dream out. Don't miss anything on that dream. Don't add anything that wasn't there, because you're going to get a wrong interpretation. Don't, like there's people that do this. I knew a person that in school, this happens with a lot of kids, even when they're adults. There might be somebody that's a great writer and they have true stories and they write them down, and other people read them and they get jealous. Instead of writing a true story themselves, is what they do is they over exaggerate in their storytelling to try to better the story. But when it comes to a dream study, do not want to do that, because you're going to get the wrong interpretation and it's going to mess you up. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you could check out my playlist. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, a dragon or an alien. Plus, you can also check out my Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all, and yeah, so don't be afraid that you get a dream. Is God is communicating, and that is how God is going to give you, like get your attention, right? It got your attention, right? Now you're like, what does this dream, why did I have this scary dream? And so I love you all. And it's hard to say, I don't know, have you started new medications? Sometimes, like I said, those things can create scary dreams. So don't be so afraid of those dreams. Just find out, what did that dream mean? What is God trying to communicate with you? I love you all. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.